Tonight, an award-winning film directed and produced by two Kelowna brothers is having its local debut. It is called The Founder Effect. One of the themes the film explores is the panic a parent feels when a child goes missing and what happens after an Amber Alert is issued. Have a listen.
It's almost like the missing persons are connecting this way. They're surviving, communicating through this wavelength or frequency.
The film has screened at 72 festivals in 23 countries around the world and has won 20 awards during its festival run. Justin MacGregor is the director, and he's in our Kelowna studio this morning. Justin, good morning.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. This film makes its Kelowna debut at the Rotary Centre for the Arts tonight. Could you tell us just briefly what this film is about?
This story is about a child who goes missing and the grandfather who goes on a mission to try and rescue him and bring him home. It's a redemption story about a grandfather who has an opportunity to make amends with the ghost of his late son, who's helping guide him towards this disappeared child.
They say to write what you know. What did you know that was the inspiration for this film?
Well, I've really long been fascinated by missing persons cases and disappearance stories in the Pacific Northwest.
Of which there are a lot.
And there is, and so there's also a lot of folklore and legend in the mountains in this part of the world. So that was sort of an aesthetic inspiration, but I knew that I wanted to have just a core family story at the center of something really sensational. And so it becomes a really human story as it progresses. But there's a mystery that surrounds this town, which we actually shot in Hope, British Columbia.
Yeah, and of course I'm going to ask you, because you said that you had an aesthetic vision, and Hope is Hope. Like the landscape is right there. Bridges that I've been on. The town sign is in the trailer there. What did you want the landscape to convey? I've read some reviews that say that it plays a big role in the film. What did you hope that landscape conveyed?
The vastness of it is something that consumes people. They slip into it and are never seen again. But Hope is aesthetically something we've driven through as boys from Kelowna who spent our lives driving back and forth to the coast. And then, of course, there's the whole cinematic pedigree it has with Rambo having been shot there. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was the perfect cinematic small town. And in my mind, there was sort of an opportunity to have Hope be a town of fiction, but also play itself. And the name of it is a theme in the movie.
Right. And obviously a theme of people who have missing loved ones.
It's what the parents are holding on to.
Yeah. The Amber Alert plays a role in this, the Amber Alert system. Can you explain how?
There was an idea that struck me early on. It was just hearing the sound of it. Growing up here, that sound is quite a chilling sound when it strikes. Mm-hmm. I knew in the film that when the boy goes missing, I wanted there to be that sound reverberating in through the woods. And then even cut to images of these vast highway systems and trains and all these possibilities of where a person could have been potentially taken or disappeared to. But that sound, I wanted it to really strike the heart and mind.
You worked on this film with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
My brother and I have been working together on a version of this project since 2014 because its origins started as a short film, experimental short film, but the idea of it has stuck with us to this day. So it actually marks the beginning of our collaboration and now come full circle, making it developed into a full feature film. It's great to work with my brother.
How did you both know that that short film was something that could be a feature film? Like for two people to agree on an artistic vision, to see that growth over 10 years, I'm just curious how that was.
If I had to pick one thing, it'd be that it is a universal story that transcends language. And we've had the opportunity to screen this now in multiple countries around the world. And no matter where we go, whether it's subtitled or not, people, parents, instantly can feel the fear that the characters in the film are going through. And so I wanted to make something that I knew could be shown without dialogue, even as a silent film. Although there's dialogue in this movie, you could turn the sound off and it would be effective. That was the goal.
I wonder, have people who have had missing family members seen this film, and have they talked to you, and what's that like?
We have had the opportunity to speak with folks at a few screenings now who have come up to us afterwards with a kind of haunted look on their face. And that's,
do you know it when you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
And one term that's come to my attention that I didn't have in mind when I was writing the movie but have been learning more about is this thing called survivor's guilt. And I didn't quite realize it, but Rick Edwards, who plays the grandfather in the film, his performance conveys this on such a level that it is affecting people, and they're coming up to me after the screenings, and that's when I feel like we've done at least there's something we've done here that is communicating on a level, and a surprising level. I didn't know that would happen.
And so here you are home. How are you feeling about the screening tonight?
It's an honor to be back in Kelowna and to be able to show this to our community, but also there is a handful of Okanagan performers who are featured in the movie. So I'm most excited about finally being able to share it with them and bring the project full circle.
Now, speaking of which, there's a whole crowd out here. I'm going to get up, and they're all going to say hello. Say hi. Everybody, hello. You've brought, your whole family's here with you.
Coming back to Kelowna, we're going to have a whole Okanagan day. I think we're going to get out to see a winery and drive around, see some sights.
Who's all here?
So my girlfriend Amazonia is here, my brother Chris, and my mom Beverly. And it's going to be a nice trip back home.
Great. Justin, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thanks very much for coming.
Pleasure, thanks.
Justin MacGregor is the writer and director of The Founder Effect. Tonight, the film makes its Kelowna debut at the Mary Irwin Theatre at the Rotary Centre for the Arts. After the screening, Justin and his brother, Chris, will have Q&A. We have 2 free passes to give away to tonight's screening. The third person to email us with the title of the film in the subject line will win those tickets. Our email address, daybreakkelowna@cbc.ca.